In one corner, a man who rose from nothing to become the Shadow Monarch, capable of tearing through dragons, giants, and even gods. In the other, a slime, yes, a slime who evolved into a cosmic entity that rewrites the rules of reality itself. This is the ultimate cross-dimensional clash. Sung Jinwoo versus Rimuru Tempest. Who would win in a battle between two of the most broken characters in anime and light novel history? Is it Jin-woo with an infinite army of shadows and death-defying resilience, or Rimuru, the all-knowing, all-absorbing god? Let's break it all down, skill by skill, ability by ability, and see who really stands at the top of the multiverse. Let's start with Sung Jinwoo, the protagonist of Solo Leveling. Jin-woo began as the weakest hunter in the world, barely able to clear D-rank dungeons, but after surviving a double dungeon and gaining access to a mysterious game-like system, he became something else, something terrifying. Jin-woo's core ability is shadow extraction. Anyone, beast, human, dragon, demon that falls before him can be resurrected as a shadow under his command. He doesn't just fight solo, he brings an entire undead army with him. Igris, a knight with incredible swordsmanship and agility. Beru, a former Ant King turned shadow general. Iron, a tank with massive durability. At his peak, Jin-woo commands thousands of shadows, including former S-rank hunters and literal demon kings. And the best part, even if they fall in battle, they can be summoned again after a cooldown. Physically, Jin-woo is insanely fast. He dodges bullets, blitz S-rank enemies, and even slices through dragons in an instant. His strength is enough to one-shot giants, rip through demon generals, and go toe-to-toe with god-level monarchs. And his reaction time, on par with teleportation. He once crossed an entire battlefield in the blink of an eye, eliminating dozens of elite enemies before they could even react. Thanks to the black heart of the Shadow Monarch, Jin-woo essentially becomes immortal. In the final arc, Jin-woo survives against multiple monarchs, beings on par with gods, and emerges victorious. Yes, he even has time travel capabilities. In the final act, Jin-woo rewinds time to redo the world-ending battle, erasing everyone's memory of the apocalypse while preserving his own power. He's not just powerful, he's experienced. He lived through timelines that no one else remembers. Jin-woo's system also grants him real-time stats boosts, level ups, skill points, agility boosts, strength buffs, critical strikes, evasion bonuses, and more. He essentially functions like a high-level MMO boss with endless scaling. Sung Jinwoo isn't just a man anymore, he is a monarch, the embodiment of death itself. But even death has limits, and that brings us to his opponent. Don't let the squishy exterior fool you. Rimuru Tempest might have started as the regular salaryman turned reincarnated slime, but what he becomes is something far beyond comprehension. By the end of that time I reincarnated as a slime, Rimuru isn't just powerful. He is a living god, bending time, space, souls, and reality to his will. Rimuru's first major cheat, Predator. This skill allows him to absorb enemies and analyze their powers, skills, and memories, then add them to his own arsenal. He eats a flame-breathing dragon? Boom. He can now nuke cities. Absorbs a master swordsman? Suddenly, he's wielding sword technique like a centuries-old samurai. Over time, Predator evolved into gluttony, then Beelzebub, allowing him to disintegrate anything on a molecular level and store it in an infinite stomach dimension. Yes, he basically has a pocket dimension inside his slime body. Next up, his most overpowered asset, ultimate skills. Chief among them, Raphael, later evolved into Ciel. Think of it like having a hyper-intelligent AI in his brain that calculates, adapts, and optimizes strategies in real time. This skill helps Rimuru evolve, analyze enemies' weaknesses, auto-activate counters, and even rewrite his own skill set to break through impossible situations. Fighting Rimuru is like battling an all-knowing god with cheat codes turned on, and your every move is being countered before you even make it. Physically, Rimuru is unkillable. His regeneration speed is absurd. Lose a limb, grow it back instantly. Stabbed through the heart, not a problem. Atomized by magic, give him a second. And don't forget, Rimuru isn't locked into one form. He can shapeshift, evolve through divine energy, and even split his consciousness to control multiple bodies at once. He can teleport across dimensions, freeze time, and create alternate realities. In combat, this means Rimuru can dodge any attack, phase out of existence, or trap enemies in sealed spaces. He once trapped Milim Nava, one of the strongest beings in his world, in a perfect illusion, then manipulated the battlefield to win a fight he couldn't brute force. Rimuru doesn't just fight physically, he attacks on a spiritual level. He can manipulate souls, resurrect allies, or wipe an enemy's existence from reality altogether. And with thought acceleration, he can think millions of times faster than normal. He can plan entire strategies, simulate outcomes, and auto-reacts while his enemies are still processing the first punch. Rimuru's magic count is astronomical. He can fire planet-level energy blasts, create barriers that tank nuclear-level magic, and control elemental forces on a divine scale. And there's the kicker. He doesn't run out of energy. His reserves auto-replenish, and CL manages his uses with perfect efficiency. So we have a slime with a god-level awareness, infinite abilities, instant evolution, and cosmic-level mana control. Fighting him is like going up against an omniscient supercomputer wrapped in an immortal shell. Two worlds collide. Sung Jinwoo, Shadow Monarch of Death, and Rimuru Tempest, God Slime of Creation. Neither belongs to this realm, but only one will live it. Jin-woo wastes no time. With a single hand motion, the battlefield erupts. Igris and Beru lead the charge, flanked by elite shadows, storming toward Rimuru like an endless wave of darkness. But Rimuru doesn't move. Instead, a divine barrier auto-deploys, crafted by CL to block all non-divine attacks. Shadow soldiers are vaporized on contact. Jin-woo's eyes narrow. He knows this won't be easy. In a flash, Jin-woo appears behind Rimuru and strikes, but the blade hits nothing. Rimuru has already moved, using thought acceleration to predict the attack and teleport a split second before contact. Jin-woo unleashes a barrage of attacks, blending speed, stealth, and shadow summoning mid-combat. Any other opponent would already be dead, but Rimuru evolves mid-fight. With each blow, CL analyzes Jin-woo's power and adapts. Rimuru strikes back. A blast of pure magic kills, vaporizes half of the battlefield, forcing Jin-woo to retreat into the shadow dimension. Worse, Rimuru uses Predator to absorb Beru's residual essence. Within seconds, he replicates Beru's fighting style. Now armed with Shadow Monarch's techniques of his own, seeing no other option, Jin-woo unleashes his full form, the Shadow Monarch. Reality bends, and an eclipse forms overhead. Time slows. Even Rimuru looks impressed. He raises the dead again, this time using shadows of fallen dragons and monarchs. The battlefield becomes a war zone of divine proportions. But Rimuru has seen enough. With CL's guidance, he activates multiple ultimate skills simultaneously. Time Stop, Spatial Severance, and Void Collapse. In the blink of a god's eye, Jin-woo is frozen mid-attack. Rimuru gently places his hand on his opponent and uses Turn Null, a skill that deletes everything from existence. Sung Jinwoo is one of the most powerful warriors in fiction, with an army, immortality, and death itself on his side. But Rimuru is the in-game, with infinite knowledge, adaptable evolution, and world-ending magic. He's not just strong, he's unbeatable. In a fair fight, with no plot armor, Rimuru takes the win by a godly margin. But what do you think? Could Jin-woo pull off a surprise win with a new power-up? Or is Rimuru just too busted? Let me know in the comments. And if you love crazy matchups like this, hit that like button, subscribe to Silent Otaku, and drop your next dream battle below.